right. I respect that I have some pretty out there beliefs, and I kind of see things my own way. I'm cool with that. But I don't hear a lot of people speaking up from my point of view, so I need to speak it myself. And then if anybody agrees with it, they found me. You don't necessarily have to agree with me. It's not my job to convince you. But I like the old school, the old Orthodox. I look at religions like Puritan, Quaker, Mennonite, and I fall in love. I hear things like the sects and interpretations like you pray all the time to yourself, that instruments are a distraction, you're supposed to praise God with your voice, that the Bible was very clear about how men treat women and how women should behave, that saltiness is a good thing, that they took that away from us. They go, oh, there's a salty old bastard, or he's a salty sea dog, or, yeah, I like being salty. I always have been. One, because I'm bitter and I'm meaner than you know, but because in the Bible it says that salt is a preservative, and that the salty ones are the ones that are preserving the word, that are preserving the way, that are preserving the wisdom. So wouldn't that mean like a true conservative in the political sphere would be salty by biblical definition? Well, it should be if this country's supposed to be Christian. I don't want to get into politics. But I have these old school beliefs, like stuff that would make maybe my grandparents kind of go like, whoa, that's a little strict. But all my life I felt like I was born in the wrong time. And a lot of people I know say that. They're like, man, you should have been born 100 years ago. You should have been born 500 years ago. You should have been born 100 years in the future. I always seem like a man out of place. But I don't think that has much to do with time as it does to adherence to core principles. Because, well, let me put it to you this way. If you lived in a time that had no phones, no cars, no internet, most people didn't know how to read, and you had to work most of the year for the crop, and then the rest of it you had to do some pretty shady stuff to get by. You had a lot of time to discipline yourself, and not very many distractions. And if we looked at somebody like, let's say Martin Luther, how could we ever think we're smarter than the older generations? I think that every generation thinks that. Martin Luther's a smart dude, whether you agree with him or not. And that's the guy that he had access, but I don't for a minute believe he lived any kind of aristocratic lifestyle. You know, I need to read up more on him, but I'm thinking it was the ascetic life, the monk life, the monastic life. And what does that say? When a terribly smart person that changes the face of a religion lived before all of our modern advancements, was this well-read? Was this understanding? Was this traveled? Was this disciplined? And we would think that we would know better. Now that we have actually less mature minds, more distracted minds, more perverted minds, less disciplined minds. So what's wrong with going back to the old school? Now, I'm not saying let's go back to like living in caves and, loincloths, but, well, isn't there an old debate that says, does technology serve man or does man serve technology? In that old 100-year-old movie by Fritz Lang, God, it's so good, Metropolis, okay? There's this whole class of people, their job is to just essentially give their whole lives to the machine, that they have to work every minute they're able, till they're exhausted, until they die, and give their lives to the machine that keeps the metropolis running so that the rich people can dance and play and go to clubs and parties and everything. This movie's 100 years old. I totally lost my train of thought on that. We got to thinking about that movie. You got to see that movie, especially with the soundtrack redone by the new Pollutants. It's free on YouTube. What you do is you scroll all the way to the end, like 10 seconds before it's over, let it finish, then restart from the beginning, and it'll play without commercials. Or at least it did last time I tried it. That way you can sit and watch this movie, and it's badass. It explains very well what's going on right now. Well, why the hell did I even bring that up? Oh yeah, people dying for the machine. Well, technology isn't supposed to be our master. Neither is society. Society isn't supposed to be our master. Society is supposed to be this weird incorporeal thing that becomes tangent, like a lap. Like, where's your lap go when you walk around? There is no society until people meet. There's no society in your house. Fuck that noise. It's your house. There's no society on the street until there's people meeting on the street. Without people, street is, guess what? It's a fucking street. So society is this construct. Just like technology is a construct. Just like religion is a construct. Do we serve these things or do they serve us? Now, back to being bitter and salty and all that stuff. Well, all of our scientific advancements, boy, I sound like I just hit puberty there. All of our scientific advancements haven't done shit when it comes to the personal relationship with God. All they've really done is distract us from it. We can live longer, virtual reality, clones, great. Do you have a relationship with God? Are you at peace with your place in the universe? Do you serve a loving master? Because even if you don't believe in God, even if you reject God outright, you better fucking believe for a fact that you serve a master. Everybody serves a master. This is undeniable. Who is that master? Now, that's another video. But in the absence of technology, you're still going to serve a master. In the absence of anything, you still have to serve a master. It could be hunger, okay? But you're going to serve a master. Let's skip all the nonsense, the distraction, all of the constructs, all of the whimsy, and get back to what man's known for a very long time. That you have to figure out who your master is before you know who you really are. And so if I'm salty, I'm glad, because I'm trying to preserve the old wisdom. And the old wisdom is the simplest, the one that everybody inevitably comes to in their times of silence and innermost introspection. The truth is that you need to know who rules you. Who rules you. And if it's technology, you're up shit's creek, son. I know who rules me. I turn my will over to it. It gives me power. It gives me way more power than I've ever had before, but exactly as much as I'm supposed to have. And then it also gives me direction to do what with that power. I'm blessed. Ain't no technology ever fucking blessed me. Love you all. God bless.